Alright, today we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing rational expressions. Here you have r squared x over 9t cubed times 3t to the fourth and r. Alright, and we're gonna be multiplying these rational expressions. If you have something like this, then what you do is you multiply what's on top. So you have 3 r squared x t to the fourth on top. On bottom you have 9 t cubed r. And then you can look for stuff that cancels. I'm going to cancel 3t out with t to the fourth, leaving t to the 1 power. I'm going to cancel out the r on bottom. It leaves 1 r on top. What else cancels? 3 and 9 leaves me with 1 over 3. Anything left to cancel? So on top I have r xt, and on bottom I have what? 3. And that's it. Right? Now you can do it this way. You can multiply them all out and then cancel, or you can just cancel across. If you wanted to get rid of this r because you saw that, and you want to get rid of that and leave with that, and then get rid of that, now you can do it that way. The first time I do it, I like to show multiplying all out, because that's what you're supposed to do when you multiply fractions anyway. Multiply the top numbers, multiply the denominators, and then you can cancel. But you can cancel across if you want. Here, you can multiply across, or first thing you can do is factor this and see if it would cancel with a plus 4. Does a squared plus 2a minus 8, like what would that factor into? What would add to give me 2, multiply give me negative 8?
4 and 2.
Okay, would the 4 be positive or would the 4 be negative?
Positive.
Okay, the 4 would be positive, right, and the 2 would be negative. Right? And most likely it needs to be positive because of this one. Right? It won't always come out to be a plus 4, but most of the time it will. So I can cancel that with that. Does anything else cancel? It does cancel. The a with the a leaves you with a to the 1. Right? Does anything else cancel? No. So here you're left with 1 on top. On bottom you're left with a times a minus 2. Right, now is that simplified? No. What you can do is distribute that a out. So here's your actual answer. Right, which I think the book takes both answers, but I think the book usually goes with this one. It's a squared minus 2a is what it leaves you with. Right. Any questions? Right, because the book and the example in the book gives you this or this, but I think in the homework it'll just leave you this, so at least you know what it looks like. All right, write this down. All right, now here's a rule. This is just the example they give for the rule when dividing fractions. Right, you can't divide fractions. Instead, what you do is you times by the reciprocal. So AB, the first number doesn't change. It's the number that that's dividing. That's doing the dividing is the one that's flipped. So it was C over D, now it's D over C, and you just multiply. So here, you got 4 over 15 n cubed divided by 12 over 25 n. So I'm going to rewrite it as 4 over 15 n cubed. The first number doesn't change. And I multiply that by the reciprocal, which is 25 n over 12. Now, before I multiply, I can divide out any common factors. Okay, 4 and 12, you get 1 and 3. What else cancels? Okay, take 5 out of 15, I get 3. 5 out of 25, I get 5. Anything else? I can get rid of an n. Leaves me with 2 n's, right? If that was cubed, now it's squared. Anything else? So on top, I have 5. And on bottom, I have 9n squared. There's your answer. So I'm going to flip-flop the second number. I write it out because it's going to help me make sure I get this right. I don't try and do this in my head. Okay. 15 and 5, it's going to leave me a 1, or 3 and 1. The y would cancel, leaves me a 1y. The x cancels, leaves me with 2 x's on top. The 4 cancels, leaving me a 2 there. So I work out 3 times 2 and get 6. Right? And I've got x squared y over 1. Right? Nothing else gives, so really my answer is just 6x squared y. Alright, we've got 2x plus 6 over x squared divided by x plus 3. So I'm going to rewrite this 2x plus 6 over x squared, and I'm going to times it by the reciprocal of x plus 3, which is 1 over x plus 3. Right? Because I could say this is x plus 3 over 1, which the reciprocal of x plus 3 over 1 is 1 over x plus 3. Then I do some I look to see if I can cancel anything. Right now I can't, but I know I can factor 2 out. Leaves me with 2x plus 3, and then x squared here, and then x plus 3 over down here, which would cancel with that. I don't see anything else that cancels, so I'm left with 2 over x squared. Alright, here we've got this. I'm going to rewrite it first just the way it is, except for multiplying by the reciprocal. And then I'm going to do some factoring. I'm going to factor this, I'm going to factor this. Okay, so y minus 3 is on top. What would add to give me negative 10, multiply to give me 16? What two numbers? Which, by the way, they're both going to be negative. Yep. Hey, here would be a hint, right? Okay, so 8 and 2. And then I'm going to factor the y squared minus 9. Right, this is a difference of a square. They're both squares. It's a subtraction of both squares. So we do the square root of the first thing minus the square root of the second thing times the square root of the first plus the square root of the second. Right, here would be a hint of one thing that I need. Right, now I look, see if I can cancel anything. That cancels. That cancels. Does anything else cancel? No. So here's my answer, 1 over, and I'm going to do y minus 2 times y plus 3. And I'm not going to FOIL that out. I'm just going to leave it as my answer. All right, here's your assignment.